Let us take a look at your first project. This project is going to be using linked list implementation on the lists. Basically, it's very similar to what we have done in the lab part for the linked list. So the summary is like linked list, it has two parts. One is the data part, the other one is the next part. So basically you are asked to implement linked list through linked list, performing the basic ADT functions, including construction, empty function, traverse function, insert, and delete. So this project was going to enhance your ability to understand the lists, familiar with the idea of the linked list, enable yourself to perform linked list programming skills. The project will due by the due date given in the Blackboard. Very important that you need to understand, this is an independent programming project. You can talk with your classmates, but you need to write your own code. It is very important that you understand and abide by the policy concerning programming projects. Remember, your personal honor and integrity is more important than the grade. If you can finish the whole project, submit the whole project, that's great. Even if you cannot finish the whole thing, you miss one or two things over there, you still submit it and I will give you partial credits on that. Do not take other people's project and then pretend that's yours, because you will never learn things from that. And now let's take a look what are the project's requirements. It has two parts. So let's take a look of the first part. The first part is something very, very similar to the lab. Understand and run the following code. You need to finish the first part first, because the understanding is the key thing for this project. You need to be able to analyze the whole code, follow the code, and then try to understand what is going on. The code given here is exactly the same with your assignment, so I'm not going to discuss of those code in these descriptions. But what's the difference about here regarding to your lab is that it has a little slightly different main function. So in this main function, I want you to look into this code, trace the code, try to predict what is the output of it, and then you run the code. So the program will give you the output. The first thing is very simple. Take a snapshot about the output and then cut it down, paste it into any document, a Word document or anything, so that you can show me you have successfully run this code. But again, understanding the code is more important, because you need to understand the code so that you can do the second part of the project. Let's take a look at the second part of the project. The second part of the project is that among all of those 5 functions, I want you to touch 2 of those 5 functions, which are insert and remove function. So originally, the insert and remove function takes 2 parameters. One is the element, which indicating what's the value you want to insert, and the position, indicating which position that you want to insert after. So if you give position 0, indicating you want to insert in the very first location. If you give you a position 1, that means you want to insert after the first position. So that position defines where you are going to look for the pre-PTR location. It's the same for insert as well as for delete. Now, in this second part, I want you to change that parameter a little bit. Okay, so what is going to be is that you are going to still do the insert and remove function, still taking 2 parameters. The first parameter is still the same, an element indicating what's the value you want to insert. The second one changes it. The second one, instead of a position given location, I want you to use pre-PTR value, indicating you want to insert your element after that value of the linked list. Take a look of this example. So originally saying the linked list is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Now if we see a function called insert 60 and 30, that means 60 is the element. So you want to insert a new element that equal to the data value equal to 60. 30, that means you want to insert 60 after the elements of the 30. So you see that the first or the beginning is 10, 20, and then 30. So the idea is that you want to insert 60 after the element of 30. So by looking into this one, it tells you the pre-PTR will point at the element of 30 location, and then you can do the insert operation. So the result will become 10, 20, 30, 60, 40, and 50. So that is the parameters change in the program. So by doing that, if we go to look for the insert operation, so you see the insert operation originally is element and position. Now it will be element and pre-PTR value. By changing that, you can see most of the code does not have major effects. Okay, so these are the things. Of course, if we look into type equal to null, indicating there's nothing over there, the element is going to be inserted in the very first location. The position in this code over here has some safe check. While we change the pre-PTR value indicating that there's nothing in front of it, how do you want to define the spatial scenario depends on your choice. As long as you can insert some elements into the empty function, empty linked list, that's totally fine. So this would be the same. If it's non-null, that means there's something. And then how do you want to specify? You want to insert the element as the very first location. You can, for example, you can say pre-PTR value equals to 0. So when pre-PTR value equal to 0, that means you want to insert in the very first location. So that's something that you would be able to change over here. The major things I want to test whether or not you fully understand the whole concept is this loop part. This loop originally has a position, so you know how many spaces you need to travel to. While at this time, it becomes a value that you need to search one by one, this for loop will need to change to a while loop. And then you need to be able to see that when this item is the element you are looking for, then that is actually where your pre-PTR going to be. Once you find where is your pre-PTR, the following things are actually the same. So how do you find the pre-PTR? Through the while loop, matching that value is going to be the key thing for you to learn about this project. So you can see that that is the ideas I want you guys to make the changes. It would be the same thing for you to do the remove part. The remove part is indicating pre-PTR value, means that you want to delete the element after this value indicating the elements of it. So for example, say now we have a linked list looks like this, and then we say after remove 30, pay attention to this one. It's not saying that you want to remove the element of 30. It's saying that you want to remove the element after 30. That's why we say pre-PTR value after 30. This may sound a little bit awkward, but think about this. This value can help us to find the pre-PTR value. So when we go through this one, when we see that, we know the pre-PTR value is going to be at this element over here. And then we can use exactly the same code that we have seen earlier. So that is actually make it more simple. So again, remember when we see remove 30, that's indicating I want to remove the element after 30. So 40 has been deleted from this linked list. So it's the same thing. You will need to go back to the delete or remove function. Instead of position, you need to change that to pre-PTR value. And that's something you need to make the corresponding changes inside of this function. And that is the requirement. That's the practice I want you guys to work on for the project part 2. On top of that, you also need to have some error checking, which is saying that if the pre-PTR value you try to give in the insert or the remove is not there. For example, originally you already know the linked list is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Saying that you want to insert 60 and 60, which means that you want to insert the element 60 after the element of 60. And if you go through each one of that, finding 60 is not there, that means the pre-PTR value that provided is not a valid location. So you need to also add that into your program. It's not going to be difficult since you are using a while loop. Go through everything. If you go through everything still not find the element, that means it's an error. So that's the hint I'm going to give you. And therefore, you also need to have error checking. Once you have finished all of these modifications, the two functions, then I want you to run this code. This is the main function that's given. So you can see that in the beginning, you want to insert 10 at the location of 0 or after the element of 0. Obviously, when there's nothing, this is like the spatial design for that, saying that I basically want to insert this item at the very first location because there's no 0 element in this linked list. So that's something you need to have a spatial check over here. So when that's happening, we have linked list has one element over there, which is 10. And then saying I want to insert 20 and 10, that means I want to insert 20 after the element of 10. So it will be 10 and 20. You can see that I also provide you the comments over here indicating what's the real linked list supposed to look like. And then if I want to insert 30 after 20, so you have 30 insert after 20. You want to insert 40 after 20, so that 40 will be insert after 20, and of course 30 will be pushed to the next item. Once we go through the first 5 inserts, we should have an output, and this output, of course, is supposed to be the outputs of what the latest insert going to be. Then we want to insert another value, so it should be successfully be inserted. However, when we try to insert 70 and 5, basically this program need to be able to have a capability understanding that, hey, this 5 as the pre-PTR value does not exist over there, and it's supposed to show some error message. And after that, we need to remove several items over here. So you can see the linked list supposed to be looks like this one. When we try to remove 30, again, it's remove the item after 30. So you can see that the linked list supposed to go through one item by one. And then when you see 30, you will set your pre-PTR over here. 50 will be your PTR, and then you want to remove that one so that 50 will be gone. You will go from 30 to 60. When we try to remove 10, again, that's removing the element after 10, so 20 will be gone, and the linked list supposed to be looks like this. When we try to do remove 50, because 50 does not exist over here, we will also get an error message. So these are the things I want you guys to implement and then be able to have a full program that be able to do the operation. So finally, what you need to submit are 2 screenshots from part 1 as well as part 2. So one screenshot from part 1, one screenshot from part 2 of your execution, the result of your execution, and I also need a source code of your program. That is what I want you guys to do for the project number 1. Of course, I will be available online to support if you have any questions.